Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Clangin and Bang with Mikey, episode 198. And today, man, today would have been my brother's 36th birthday. Yeah. And I knew this day was gonna come, where I would have to celebrate his birthday without him being here, right? And it's a weird feeling, you know. It's a weird feeling not walking, not walking down the hall and hearing him say, "Hey man, it's my birthday," where my birthday gifts at, or whatever, or to some effect. That's what he would say. Or it's like we sit there, we watch basketball, politics, whatever, and he would always have an opinion, and and I remember when he met my girlfriend for the first time. Um, it was a Friday night, and they had come back from a baseball game. The baseball game ran late, and so we're sitting on the couch talking story. And they come in, and my brother goes, who's this person? So, we start talking, they introduce each other, and the next day, they're just me and my brother were just chilling at the house, and he says, "Man, how'd you meet so and so?" I was like, "Oh, dog, I met him from around the way, and he's like, "Nigga, you talk to people?" It's like, what are you talking about, right? And I was like, "Yeah, dog, I talk to people, right?" Funny story about that. That's a whole different podcast topic, but yeah, he told me point blank, dog. He was like, "Nigga, don't fuck this one up." um, and I laughed because he was right. I laughed because he saw something in her that I didn't see at the time, or maybe he knew that he was dying, and he knew that I would need somebody to help me walk through this hellish time, you know. And he knew I wouldn't be able to do it myself. And so that was Saturday. That Sunday was cool. We was talking story. He was roasting me. I was roasting his ass back. Monday night, same thing. But it was really strange, man, because like how he was acting, he kept telling everybody, "Thank you." Like he knew something was gonna happen. He just didn't know when or what was gonna happen. And I remember, mind you, because my brother was physically disabled. We both have cerebral palsy, and I remember like he was congested and everything too, and he was like, "Dog, can you rub me down with Vicks?" I'm like, "Yeah, dog, I got you." And he told me like, "Hey, man," so I rubbed him down and everything, and he dapped him up, and he dapped me up, and then he told me like, "Yo, I love you," but how he said it was like, "Yo, I'm leaving soon, and this I don't know when that day's gonna come, but it's soon." Man, the last word I spoke to my brother was that I said, "I love you. I love you too." And then he died the next day. My point with this topic, man, is that love on those who love you. Apologize to those who, who you hurt. I'm not saying that you can't, I'm not saying that it's going to go back to what it was. Because some situations are what they are, right? But it doesn't mean that you can't put aside all your bullshit, your trauma, your drama, and be like, yo, and just tell people, thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being an ear. Thank you for being you. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters, man. You gotta be willing to recognize when you fucked up. You gotta be willing to recognize when the situation is bigger than, than you. Because the situations are, like, go ahead and make that phone call. Apologize. I'm not saying that y'all gotta go back and be, lovey-dovey or fucking best friends or whatever it is, but it's like, yo, it's like take that time to actually tell that individual, like, yo, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for helping me be better. And that's what it is, man. It's like, like you have to understand that your time is limited here, man. It's like, like you don't want to walk around with no hate in your heart and no animosity towards somebody else, because while your feelings and everything are valid, your behavior is not. And that's the one thing my brother always stood on, was that, man. He always stood on that. Honestly, I've never seen him have a bad day. I've never seen him stay mad at people forever, because he's not that type of dude, bro. He wasn't that type of dude. And I have this saying that I always say, is like, I've never had a bad day. I just had bad moments. And it's true. I've had bad moments, And I'm not just talking about my brother dying, I'm not talking about, the scene when I'm rolling up to my house and I see the EMTs outside and I see them, performing CPR. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the everyday shit that we go through, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that people don't understand how much you need somebody until that person's not here. How much you need somebody to talk to, how much you need somebody to, just sit there and hear you out. And I'm not saying that you gotta call everybody and apologize, because some people just ain't gonna want to hear it. I remember sitting there, and me and him sitting there when Kobe died. And Shaq was saying something along the lines, is like, yo, I wish I would have called dude more. I wish I would have sat down and had a conversation with him. Instead I let all the bullshit, all the drama, get in between us, and it's like, and you end up potentially losing a friendship because you can't get out of your own way. And I think that's the most disheartening thing you can do, when you let your bullshit and, like I said, your trauma and your drama get in the way of something beautiful. Now, I might be dropping some Easter eggs, but, I'm just saying in general, man, because it's like, everybody makes mistakes, bro. There's no one in this situation that walks away unscathed, right? There's nobody that just be like, yeah, boom, 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 this happened. Or yada, yada, yada. Well, you did this. Like, yeah, but okay. But you did that to, influence my reaction. I'm not saying that it's right, because it's not right. But my brother would always say, like, hey, man, it doesn't matter. You know, apologize anyway. Be the bigger person, you know, and understand that, yo, it's okay. Um, like, just be better, man. And it's like, we're going to have moments where we fuck up. And mind you, this guy, you know, severely disabled. Always checked up on people without fail. Yeah, always checked up on people. Even people he didn't, that didn't like him. He'd be like, "Hey man, how you doing? What's up with you?" You know, if you had kids, and that's the one thing that I do too. It's like I remember people's birthdays. The same thing with him. You know, but the difference between me and him is like he was just like so vivaciously full of life and everything too, where I was like, he was a super talkative one where I was like, nah, I gotta feel this shit out first. you know and what's hard for me, man, is that he was my best friend. And it sucks not having him here. Yeah. It sucks not, having somebody not to argue with college football players or what team is better or this and this and that. Or, it's like, or seeing him lose his shit every Sunday because his Niners are playing like crap. or when the Niners made it to the Super Bowl and they couldn't win. So it's like, at the end of the day, man, that was my nigga, man. And I was one person without fail, bro. Whatever he needed, I got him. And the one time when he needed me, man, I wasn't there. And that shit eats the fuck out of me too. I wasn't expecting to cry at my podcast, but here we are. Man. Long story short, bro, value those who value you. Apologize to those who you did wrong. Make amends with those individuals. Because one of my partners he always says, man, he's like, yo, it's like everything is fixable, dog. It's like you just gotta be willing to put in the work for it. And while my brother thought the same thing too, he never ever saw the bad in people. He'd be like, yo, okay, they did a bad thing, they had a bad moment, whatever it was. It's like, but that doesn't make them bad people, dog. I was like, what? He's like, yeah. He's like, take for instance, one of the guys back in the day in high school, he cheated on his girlfriend, and she literally whooped his ass in the cafeteria. And I get it, because that was probably 20 plus years ago. 20 plus years ago. And and while unfortunate, my brother would always say, like, yo, okay, he had a bad moment, dog, but that don't make him a bad person. And I sat there, I thought about it. Yeah, it makes sense. just because, you know, he did what he did doesn't make him a bad individual. You know, it makes him have poor decision skills, you know, but it doesn't make him a bad individual. And the one thing with my brother, man, I can hear him in certain situations where I'm like, yeah, I can't pop off. You know, I can, you know, as much as I want to do it, bro, I can't do it, right? So it's, you know, it's unfortunate that he's not here because I need him right now. And it may sound selfish, but he would tell me like, bro, go pick the phone up. Go talk to this individual, you know, and apologize, man. Because that's the right thing to do. You know. And I am not okay, but I will be okay. I don't know when I'm gonna be okay. All I know is that I gotta navigate life without my right hand man. And I'm fucking scared. Because not only was he, you know, not only was he my reason to do things, he also was my moral compass too. You know, I would go to him. I would tell him, boom, boom, boom. This, like, you know, this is going on, that's going on. How would you handle this? And he's like, dog. He's like, you gotta give people grace. You know, you gotta understand that, nigga, people ain't you. You know, people can't cut people off. You know, and be cold-hearted and be mean and all this other shit. Like, nigga, ain't nobody like you, right? You know, and it's true. When me and my brother walked into a room, it was a yin and a yang. He was just full of life, you know, full of light and everything too. And I was like more along the lines like, hey man, how you doing? You know, anybody who saw us together in the same space knew, you know, yeah, we were twins, but we are also individuals as well. And like I said, I have to navigate life without my best friend. I have to navigate life, you know, without somebody who I thought was gonna be for at least another 5 decades. I gotta navigate life without somebody who was gonna be my best man at my wedding one day. I gotta navigate life with someone who I was gonna name my kids after. You know, straight up. You know, if I ever had kids, you know, like I would give, you know, my son, you know, my brother's name. Maybe now I can't, you know, to keep his memory alive, right? I gotta navigate life without the one person I know who would give me the most unfiltered, raw, honest advice ever. And wherever you at, dog, you know, whatever girl you chasing, he would tell me one thing, man. Bro, go pick up the phone. You know, everything is fixable, dog. You just have to be willing to fix it. And you gotta put your pride to the side, and you just have to figure out, like, okay, like, I don't know what is gonna happen in this situation, but I do know one thing. It's also a very trying time for a lot of people. he would just simply say, like, man, just give them grace, you know, right? Don't bring up their past situations. Don't bring up their past traumas and dramas. Just give them grace because they're learning too, you know. And don't be so quick to shut people out, man. You know, don't be so quick to do that because you don't know what they're going through. You know, everybody's fighting some sort of battle, whether internally, externally, whatever it is, or maybe a combination of both. The one thing that we have to do is that we have to be kind to people. We have to understand that everybody is going through something. And it's different levels, but the same devil, you know? And as I look back and I reflect on my brother's life, he would say, man, be better than what you are. You know, strive to become better, grow, learn. It's okay to make mistakes. But at the end of the day, understand that it's okay, man. Understand that it's okay. You don't have to be perfect at everything. But what you should be trying to do is understanding that everything else, you know, everything is temporary. No matter how long it is, how short it is, everything's temporary. But it's up to you to keep pouring into that situation if you want it to survive, you know. Anyway, y'all, this is about 22 minutes of your life that y'all won't get back. I appreciate y'all. For those who do watch my shit, those who do, you know, leave views, you know, likes, whatever it is, appreciate y'all. Hope y'all keeping the 4 piece. Private player, positive pushing. I'll see y'all next week. I love y'all. Ghost. And like I always say, know your worth because you're better than what you are. Peace.